as a modern marketer, you have to leave room for experimentation in everything that you do. There always has to be room on the edges for you to try new things. So everything that we do always has a learning agenda attached to it. It's not just about doing what we did before and doing it again.
Hi, I'm Jason Harris, and you're listening to Soul and Science. Fast forward your marketing mind in about 20 minutes. This week, I'm joined by Soyoung Kang, Chief Marketing Officer at eos. eos Products, the iconic beauty brand, has sold over 1 billion lip balms worldwide. In her role, Soyoung is responsible for driving the overall strategy, planning, and operations for marketing and e-commerce. Since joining, she has completed a total reboot of the brand identity, from resetting creative and strategic vision to dramatically expanding the category footprint and product pipeline, to launching experiential marketing initiatives like the influencer collaboration FlavorLab and eos microbatch DTC fashion drops. Soyoung has been named a Forbes CMO Next, an honor bestowed on leaders like her who serve as models of a new, emerging, and disruptive chief marketer. She was also selected by Business Insider as a CMO to watch for reshaping marketing, and by Glossy as a beauty innovator who is driving change in the beauty industry. Also, most recently, she was named a Campaign US Female Frontier honoree, and we are thrilled to have her here. So today's theme is experimentation and innovation, turning calculated risk into business ROI, which you've done so successfully at eos. Does that sound like a good theme?
Yeah, it sounds great. Let's get into it.
All right, cool. So you have a background in architecture from MIT and a dual MBA in marketing and finance from the Wharton School. Your educational background is really amazing. And when we talk about soul and science, it's kind of the perfect marriage of you've got marketing, you've got finance, you've got architecture. It's like a blend of everything. How did you sort of find your way into where you are today?
Well, I never knew or anticipated that I would end up in the role that I'm in today, but I think that's pretty common. I think you'll hear more these days that career journeys are not linear, and that folks didn't meticulously plot out where they were going to be from A to B. So for me, I think that I've always had the desire to pursue a career that was part art and part science. I think that that's kind of reflected in sort of my earlier days. I've always been somebody who's fascinated by art, design, creativity, and storytelling, but also math, science, technology. And I think that honestly, the modern marketing role is the perfect combination of both aspects of those.
Did you at one point think you would become an architect?
I did. I really did. I loved architecture, and architecture is also a marriage of art and science very much.
It
and
really
so
is.
Yeah. And so that's why I studied it. But I think that, like life took me on a different path, a different journey. I think I actually ended up in the business world for probably about a decade of my career post-college before finding my way back into what I think is ultimately the right fit for me in marketing.
Were you ever curious about marketing? Was it even on your radar?
No, you know what? I didn't know that marketing was for me. And I think that was actually a naive point of view, because I think in my mind, marketing was marketing equaled advertising. But it's so much more than that. Marketing is storytelling. It's understanding human behavior. It's psychology. It is also highly analytical and data driven. There's so many different aspects to this broad realm of marketing. And I think that I didn't understand that at the time. But there were things along the way during that year, that decade of being in the business world, that I think actually today serve me so well as a CMO. Things like being intensely obsessed with the consumer experience and understanding and wanting to talk to people to put context around data points. I mean, these are things that do happen in the business world that are actually incredibly aligned to the marketer's toolkit. So yeah, I think that there were things that excited me along the way throughout my career that I just didn't realize that they all ended up being signs pointing towards a career in marketing.
Yeah, that's great. And do you remember when you started, what was your first job in marketing?
I would say that some of the work that I was doing in the consulting world would have been related to consumer insights, new white space, new storytelling, and brand repositioning. But that was on behalf of other clients.
Yep.
So as much as I was very firmly in that business world, the work that I kept gravitating to was actually very much marketing related.
Sometimes in advertising or as marketers, when we think about the brands we work on and we get so caught up in them, we do lose sight that the most important thing is always the audience, because that audience will always tell you what to do if you turn up their voice. If you listen loud enough, you'll always sort of know what to do. But sometimes we get so caught up in
Yeah.
what products are making more margin or what retailers want, or depending on what product or service you're selling, that we lose sight of the consumer and the audience. And that's really, we always have to go back to that,
I
because
think
that
you
will
just said
always
a
tell you.
lot about the what really resonates with me about the thinking about marketing as soul and science is very much what you just said, because science comes in a lot of different forms. It can be data, it can be true, like actual spreadsheets and numbers, but there's also a part of science that's all about insight,
Yeah.
and gathering external information to help you formulate stronger strategies and creative internally. And so the idea that you can spend more of your time listening as inputs and understanding the consumer experience, that's a part of science. But then the soul comes in being able to deliver something that this outside party couldn't have even told you. It's about connecting the dots and creating a spark of something that's not doing exactly what they're asking you to do, but doing something more than they could have even imagined. And that's the soul to me.
That is so very